Welcome back to our second hour here at World Crisis Radio. And, of course, Obama has been winging his way from Washington to Alaska to Japan. He's on his Oriental tour, Japan, China, South Korea, and a large international conference. But here at home, the questions remain. Is this man legally, constitutionally qualified to be President of the United States? Where was he born? What is his citizenship? How old is he? And other legitimate and indeed imperative questions. So for the update on that, as usual, we now turn to our great friend Phil Berg, distinguished attorney in Philadelphia, who has been leading the charge on this since August of 2008. Welcome, Phil.
Welcome. My pleasure to be on. You're wonderful to keep on top of this, and people across the nation should be proud that you do it. And I'm continuing my fight here because there's nothing more important than enforcing our U.S. Constitution, even though we're having a difficult time convincing the courts of that. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals just this week dismissed my case on the issue of standing. They still state I do not have standing, which is outrageous, and we will be filing a writ of certiorari to the U.S. Supreme Court on this. Again, to say that we don't have standing, they're basically stating that I don't have standing, Webster, you don't have standing, none of your listeners have standing, no one has standing, which is really outrageous.
Are they ever in a position to define what it would take to have standing, or they tell you don't have it, but we won't tell you what it is?
Well, they keep skirting the issue, but they're basically saying that no one has standing to challenge the Constitution. The Constitution, and it really is outrageous. And they're saying that in the recent opinion, that I don't have an injury here because other people also have an injury. Does that make sense? I mean,
it sounds like double talk. What is the name of the judge again? Just for the record.
No. Well, this is different. This was from the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, 3-judge panel. Slavitter, Fuentes, I'm probably really messing up his name, and Hardiman.
Can you say it again a little bit more clearly?
Well, the first name is Slavitter, Sloviter.
Okay.
The second name is Fuentes, and the third is Hardiman.
Okay. Well, they don't exactly go to the honor roll then, do they?
Well, not in my opinion.
Well, so now to the Supreme Court. How does that work?
Well, we're going to review it here, and we'll have to take up an issue. Now, we feel we have a great point here. We asked the Third Circuit to take judicial notice of what recently occurred in the Carter case out in California, because in the name of the case, it's Judge Carter has the case out there, and he specifically asked questions, and the U.S. Attorney and the Department of Justice Attorney both agreed that if that case out there had been filed before the election, the person would have standing. Well, that fits me. I filed my action back on the original case, August 21st, 2008, before the Democratic National Convention. So based on the statements by the attorneys for the Attorney General's Office and Justice Department, I, Phil Berg, would have standing. So I think we have a really strong point for the U.S. Supreme Court to look at. Since the government conceded that one would have standing if they filed before the election, and I did, I believe, therefore, that we now have standing to disagree here with the courts, the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, which just came down. So
Phil,
we have a good issue. Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but now this is a disagreement. This is a sort of a divergence among two appellate courts. In other words, the guy in California is an appellate judge, and now in Philadelphia.
No, Philadelphia was the Third Circuit. They're appellate courts. The other was in the district court. But again, it wasn't the judge's decision. It was the judge asking questions of, and the response by the attorney for the United States U.S. Attorney General's Office and the U.S. Treasury Office. The U.S. Justice Department Office. And the attorneys for the Justice Department and Attorney General's Office stated to the court, to Judge Carter, that if this particular case out there, that's the Wiley Drake case, had been filed before the November elections, there would be standing. Well, I filed 3 months before that, back on August 21st, 2008. So I think we present an excellent argument to the U.S. Supreme Court, for them to really take this case, and I'm hoping.
Absolutely. Bill, can you just refresh our memory now? What other cases do you still have going in the field?
Well, we have one other. First off, all this information can be found, and it's either bear with us up today or tomorrow. We're having a revamped website, but our website is obamacrimes.com. OBAMACRIMES.com, obamacrimes.com. We really need people to keep spreading the word. The other case, the most significant case, I think, even more significant than this standing, is a case that I filed in the federal court in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, but the judge turned it down. But we're now on appeal to U.S. Circuit Court for the District of Columbia. That's a False Claims Act case, because what's significant about that is standing. One who files a False Claims Act case has standing. So that's already been up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So the issue there, though, is that the judge dismissed that the case was frivolous. Well, it's not frivolous, because what I'm claiming there is that Obama has never satisfied the requirements that not only is he not natural born, but that not even that he's naturalized. And my position is that he's an illegal alien, and therefore his term in the United States Senate from Illinois was illegal or fraudulent, and therefore all monies and benefits he received totaling over $1 million should be returned to the U.S. Treasury. Now, if that case is successful, obviously, if he can't be a U.S. Senator, he can't be the President of the United States. So I think we have a very strong case there, and we're pursuing that right now, getting ready to file briefs in that case. And there's one other case, which is Hollister. And in the Hollister case, that's a retired Air Force colonel, and his position is he wants to know by interpleader. He's on ready recall by the president. If the president recalls him, does he accept the order coming from a legit, valid president, or does he disobey the order coming from an invalid or usurper president?
And whatever happened to the idea of a quo warranto approach?
Well, we haven't taken it because the ones that have been filed wrong. On quo warranto, what you do is you file it with the government official. Like, in other words, if we were going to file in Washington, which would be a good place for it, you file it and you serve it upon the Attorney General of the United States, and then it's up to him to take the next step. We haven't done it because we know Eric Holder's not going to do anything with it. And that's what we raised in that False Claims Act case. We raised that there was a major conflict of interest with Attorney General Holder. The court didn't agree on that, but I think that's another great appealable issue. How can the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, who reports to and guides and discusses things with the president, not have a conflict of interest? And also the fact that Eric Holder was on the campaign committee of Obama, and also he was one of 3 individuals who were on the committee to select the vice president, who eventually did select Vice President Biden. So if there ever was a conflict of interest, it's Eric Holder. We just need one of these courts, one of the justices, to put their, put aside their political viewpoint, and unfortunately I think that's what it is, and rule on the merits. Because if we can get discovery in this case, the ball game's over for Obama, because he's a fraud, he's a phony, it's the biggest hoax against the United States of American citizens in over 230 years, and I believe it's outrageous.
That's a very good point, Phil. You don't have to win the case. All you have to do is get discovery, produce the birth certificate, and that could be the end of it for Obama right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If and when we get discovery, the ball game's going to be over for him.
All right. Well, I guess it's every time you have a setback, it's time to redouble the effort. So I urge people to go to obamacrimes.com and make a contribution, because none of this is for free. Thank you very much, Phil. We'll see you next week.
You got it.
Bye-bye.